love-hate relationship with the gambling casinos and the crowds they brought in the 1950s. Watermen thrived with the abundance of crabs, oysters, and rockfish. Local farmers brought truckloads of produce through town, stopping at the homes of their regular customers with everything from tomatoes and string beans to cantaloupes, watermelon, and peaches. I loved those tomatoes so much that I used to make my father send them to me via FedEx for my birthday every July when I was living and working full-time in Miami. Then the casinos were outlawed in 1959. Around the same time, the famous oyster wars were fought between the oystermen and the authorities over the dredging of the beds in the Potomac and the Chesapeake Bay. By the 1960s, the town had reverted to a quiet, sleepy place that has struggled to find a new identity. While I miss the steamboat and ferry era, I'm not quite that old, after all. I was here for the gambling years and dramatic ending of the oyster wars and every transition that has come since. Over the years, coming back again and again to the house by the river, rebuilt now into a year-round home, but with a porch and river view and even some neighbors that remain mostly unchanged, I've discovered that I am far from alone in my love for this place. This town of fewer than 5,000 full-time residents is filled with people who were born here and saw no reason to leave. People who left and came home again, and those who came here fell in love with the place or a person and never left. Sounds a bit like a romance novel, doesn't it? Just wait till you read about women like Ellie Carruthers, Mary Virginia Stanford, and Alberta Parkinson, who met men from Colonial Beach and left their homes and families to build a life here. There are the families, the Curleys, the Densons, the Pearsons, and the Wilkersons, who've spent a lifetime right here, their businesses an intrinsic part of the town. Each one is as unique as the characters who have populated my books. They have strong roots in the community and a passion for this town that they're more than willing to share. This book tells the stories of people I've grown up around and somehow am just getting to know, in that way that we all do, with a belated sense of urgency that we need to find out about the histories and the memories before it's too late for them to be captured. Like Ellie Carruthers, I find myself saying time and again, "That's so interesting," as personal stories emerge and real-life love stories take shape. But more than capturing the history of this town or these individuals, this is a story of small towns and the lure they hold for so many of us who live in large, impersonal cities and yearn for a different lifestyle, one that may be greatly romanticized in many ways, but still exists in so many others. Neighbors do indeed seem to know way too much about what we're up to, but they also jump in to help when someone's in need. The schools are the center of much of the social life, right along with the churches and local organizations. The fire department and the rescue squad exist through the heroic efforts of volunteers. I may fictionalize that in my books, but here, it's very real. Just recently, I went into a small local grocery and restaurant. You'll read more about Denson's later, to buy a thank you gift of wine for someone who'd done me a huge favor. They were immediately able to point me toward the brand he prefers. The big warehouse wine stores may carry a wider variety of wines, but most can't offer such personalized service. Here, it's commonplace. Waitstaff know our menu preferences. Neighbors know our habits. For example, following an accident not long ago, I failed to show up for breakfast at my favorite restaurant. The waitress, who'd grown up in Lenny's under the guidance of her stepfather and mom, was concerned. Thanks to Brandy, 5 minutes after my usual arrival time, another regular customer was knocking on my door to make sure I hadn't been seriously injured, to ask if I needed anything at all. This kind of salt-of-the-earth, genuine caring is something many of us in big cities find lacking in our lives and long for. I hear from readers all the time who can relate to that longing. So, welcome to Colonial Beach. It's rich with a unique history and charm and a whole slew of great storytellers. In these pages, you'll read about their lives, plus a little bit more about mine.